Hello and welcome to another Cliff Reviews Art House. This time I'm reviewing the film The Last Showgirl, directed by Coppola. Now, I've read some mixed reviews of this film, although there has been universal praise for Pamela Anderson and for Jamie Lee Curtis. I've seen the trailer quite a few times and I really like the look of it, so I watched it with an open mind. I really enjoyed this film. It's understated, it's subtle, it's not really got a lot of story, but I think it's a beautiful film. It's a sad film. It is sad, but in a way that's kind of really compassionate to its characters. I obviously initially thought of Paul Verhoeven's Showgirls, but this film couldn't be more different than that. This isn't really focusing on the glitz and glamour of Vegas. It's much more of a meditation on the fragility of identity, the cost of dreams, and the melancholy of endings. It's set against the glitz and desert emptiness of Las Vegas, and it delivers a poignant exploration of kind of fading illusions and personal reckoning, personal disappointments. At the heart of the film is Pamela Anderson's career-defining portrayal of Shelley. Shelley is a once celebrated showgirl struggling to reconcile the sacrifices that she made for her dream with the crumbling reality of her world. Anderson gives Shelley both vulnerability and depth. This is a character who's kind of lived a lie, who's believed in her artistic significance, only to confront the harsh truth of the show's inherent irrelevance and tackiness. Her performance is raw, it's nuanced, it's undeniably deserving of greater recognition. She really should at least have been nominated for the Best Actress Oscar. This is definitely a performance that ranks alongside Mikey Madison or Demi Moore. Jamie Lee Curtis is also fantastic. She plays a former dancer turned cocktail waitress. Her character serves perhaps as a premonition of what Shelley's future might hold, a life tinged with residual pride but steeped in loss. The scene where Annette awkwardly dances alone is one of the film's kind of most heartbreaking moments. It's a vivid depiction of being trapped in a fantasy identity that no longer works. I thought that Dave Bautista also showed what a great actor he is. This is a serious part that required real subtlety, a role where a lot of the acting had to be done by the body language as much as the script. I thought that the chemistry between his character Eddie and Shelley was really compelling. It really worked. He's tender and reserved, but he brings a stabilising presence to Shelley's turbulent life. He's seen and he values her past glories, and I think he provides both a sense of solace, but also there's an added layer of sadness here. His own shyness and inertia speak to a life marked by unfulfilled possibilities. The chemistry between all the actors here is great. I found the characters really compelling and well developed. The scene where they have the meal at Shelley's house, where Anderson, Lee Curtis and Bautista are all in the scene, it's just great. Really underplayed, but so compelling. One of the younger dancers expresses her feeling that they're like a family. They're not a family, but there is a kind of bond between them in the sad, empty lives that they all seem to be living. I thought that the cinematography was exceptional. It captures the desolation of the desert and the impermanence of the Las Vegas Strip. The frequent use of light and camera flare and handheld techniques really created a kind of raw and intimate texture, and it mirrors the instability of the characters. The film spends as much time in mundane places on the Strip, often in car parks or backlots. There's a real sense of how behind the scenes the Vegas glitz is empty and vacuous. Sean Baker is really in the limelight at the moment, Anora having just won all those Oscars. I think that The Last Showgirl shares many similar qualities with Baker's work. All his films are about people at the margins of normal society. The Last Showgirl has this similar quality. Baker also uses the sky a lot, and Coppola seemed also to be using the expansive desert sky in a way that definitely reminded me of Sean Baker. It's puzzling that The Last Showgirl didn't get any Oscar nominations. I think that it definitely deserved to be nominated in many of the categories. Certainly Anderson as Best Actress, Lee Curtis as Best Supporting Actress. I personally think also Best Film, Best Cinematography, I could probably go on. This film is primarily about people, about relationships as people age and realise that life is more disappointing than they expected. I think it does this really effectively. But there's another angle too. Beneath its intimate character studies, The Last Showgirl is offering a profound commentary on broader themes. Shelley's increasing realisation of the illusion she's lived, it kind of parallels the cycles of cultural and economic decay. It's perhaps a metaphor for the hollow promises of the American dream and the transient nature of capitalism. I think it can be read as a commentary on Make America Great Again, that nostalgic greatness is a fantasy, it's hollow. America can never be great again, at least in the way that people talk about it, but people want to believe in that fantasy. At the same time, I thought this was a profoundly compassionate film. It's not laughing or mocking at this sad collection of characters. It's deeply human in its portrayal of them. In another way, this reminds me of Sean Baker. It doesn't hold back from the brutality of this world, but it's kind and caring about the characters. Overall, The Last Showgirl isn't so much a traditional story, a conventional narrative. Rather, for me, it was an evocative experience. The film is really about evoking a feeling of ending, but not just any ending, an ending where the illusion of meaning and greatness is shattered. Its melancholic tone, the empathetic direction, the deeply human performances, this film lingers in the mind after viewing. I found it a profound reflection on the fragility of meaning and the illusions that we craft to sustain ourselves. It's a great film and I highly recommend it. Thanks for watching and I'll see you next time.